and good evening all the lovely participants. Inoke welcomes you all for the today's webinar series, and today's topic of discussion is male sexual dysfunction, which is adolescence to andropause at Dr. Ritu's shows. Myself, Harish Mehta, working as a marketing manager in the Inoke company, and it's my privilege to introduce today's speaker, both doctors. Dr. Ritu Santwani, she is MBBS, MD, obstetrician and gynecology. She is IVF specialist. Dr. Ritu Santwani is 20 years veteran of the obstetrician and gynecology services. She specializes in the test tube baby and each and every aspect of infertility and provides a comprehensive services in IUI, IVF, ICSI, assisted hatching, egg donation, embryo donation, surrogate motherhood, male infertility, natural infertility treatment, semen banking, embryo freezing, sexual and psychological problems. And Dr. Ritu Santwani is trying to give moral and the emotional support to our all infertility patients. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now it's time to introduce today's Pundit. Today's Pundit, Dr. M.S. Siddiqui. Dr. M.S. Siddiqui is MD psychosexologist. He is men's sex health counselor. Dr. M.S. Siddiqui is a member of South Asian Society for the Sexual Medicines as well as the Indian Association of Sexology. Dr. M.S. Siddiqui is fellow of International Society for the Sexual Medicine. Dr. M.S. Siddiqui is a winner of World Signature Award honored by Bollywood actor Govinda. Dr. M.S. Siddiqui provides ultimate sex problems consultancy. He listens all the problems carefully and does the best diagnosis. Currently, he is practicing in Barabanki, Uttar Pradesh. Welcome, sir. And this webinar is organized by InnoCare Life Sciences Private Limited from the makers of eDrive and eDrive C. So just not taking too much time, just would like to hand over the session to our both the doctors. You can continue, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Harish, for such a kind introduction. Thank you, InnoCare, for almost always the constant support. A very warm welcome, Dr. Siddiqui. A very warm welcome to this My Lucky 7 show. So I can say you are very lucky guest for us. This is our 7th show of this the Pundit. So today we are, as all of us know, that knowledge is the power. So friends, we are going to start today our very power-packed show. So thank you for accepting the invitation, Dr. Siddiqui. So without wasting time.
Thank you, ma'am. It's my pleasure to join you.
So
it's my pleasure to join you. Really, you are just ocean of the knowledge for that. It's my pleasure to join you a little bit drop for that. So it's really extremely hearty thanks for that, and it's very pleasurable to join for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Siddiqui. I always believe on the fact. See, knowledge is not limited to the age. So we always learn from each and every person. So youngsters like you also are ocean of knowledge. So we always gain something by each other. So now without wasting time, I am starting the session. So at this session, as our all friends and viewers knows that our sessions are usually based on the practical scenarios. What in the day-to-day practice we are getting the patients, what the problems we are getting. So Dr. Siddiqui, my first question to you is the nocturnal emission. This is a very, very common problem. There is a lot of disturbance.
Why not so?
Vaibhav, there is a lot of disturbance. Can you correct?
Why speech is so high? Why speech is so high, ma'am?
Okay, with lot of disturbance. Now I think it's correct.
Hi.
Am I audible to you,
clear, ma'am?
Now it's clear, Dr. Siddiqui. So my first question to you regarding this nocturnal emission. ये बहुत बड़ा common problem है. We are getting day to day so many patients of this also. So enlighten us about this nocturnal emission. Is this normal? Is it pathological? And how to treat this?
Ma'am, first of all, I can say about the nocturnal emissions. Swapna dosha. Some literatures are just claiming just this word nocturnal emissions, nightfall, it's a swapna dosha. We are just only accepting that the disease, but scientifically this is not a disease. It's only ejaculations at a time of sleep with the orgasmic conditions. So it is so normal, so natural. But in media, in addings, there are some quackeries are there where they are just accepting these are disease as just like a swapna dosh. So youngsters, it is lack of the knowledge, they accepting that it is a big disease and they suffer from the psychological illness and the problem created by their stress, and they feel more stress, more issues are there. It's a very simple treatment for that, sex education for the young guys who are just newly adolescents for that, and it easily manageable, there is no problem. As a gynae you can say, as when the girl started the menarche stages for that, there is some changes are there. Like male, some changes are there, newly ejaculations are there, which is so normal, scientifically proved are there. It's a so normal, it's not a big disease, there is no harm with the nocturnal emissions for that. If the young guy is suffering from more stress, so give the SSRIs. Only 5 to 10 mg of escitalopram can manage this such type of the condition with the behavior and psychological therapies are there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siddiqui, for such a practical answer. So my next question is regarding this masturbation. So many are young doctors also getting the patients in these days in the OPD. Some patients are coming that they are addicted to this masturbation. So is the masturbation is harmful? Does it affect the sexual life? Some patients are coming with this problem.
Before this answer, I want to ask only one thing. Excess of anything is harmful. If the masturbation is hampering the daily schedule life of the young guys, so it's a harmful. Otherwise, it's no harm of the masturbation. You can say it's a self pleasure. It can also prevent a way of sexual transmitted infection. So masturbation is not a big disease. If the young guys are just taking just like addictions, they are hampering their daily duties, and they are just doing such type of way where there is some lifestyle also hampering with these issues. So that addiction cause a problem. So if bi-weekly or in monthly once, 1 or 2 times, so it's a normal and natural phenomena. It's not a big disease. And there is no any recorded data are just creating by the masturbation, any sexual debilities, any lack of semen. These are only taboos of the social. There's not a big disease for that. So it's a very safe practice. Masturbation is safe practice. We have just many of the literature in lockdown where we are promoting about the masturbation technique for self-pleasure if the couple is not with them. So it's very simple. It's very easily we can say this is a natural phenomena. So we just accepted for that. This is the only natural things, and we accept for that. There is no any harm with the masturbation. As you gynecologists, ma'am, many of the young couples were just, if female is pregnant, that's time we just give the such type of way to male to self-satisfaction with the masturbation in such type of the where there's a pregnancy have a very complication issues are there. So we go for the male of a self-satisfaction with the masturbation. So it's a natural phenomena for that.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Siddiqui. Now regarding this pornography. So can pornography become addiction? So many patients are also approaching for this also. What's your experience says? Is pornography is, Am I audible?
Ma'am, pornography, sure. Ma'am, pornography addiction is harmful. I'm saying the which guys are just creating the addiction of anything. You have seen many of as a politicians and issues are there where we are just hampering with the pornography daily schedule life. So that's a problem. If a pornography we are just taking just like a knowledge enhancement, so it's good for that. And pornography also very good in such type of the infertility. As you are IVF specialist, I have seen many of the cases where we just want to collect the semen. There are issues of the male patient without any sexual attempts. They don't ejaculate. So we can easily manage. So there is a boon or curse. If we are just taking as a reduction, so it's a curse. Otherwise, there's a simple as a boon and as knowledge enhancement, and it's very simple way of that. Some literature are against about this. Some literature are saying is a positive way of thinking. So don't create any addictions, any of high excesses of anything is harmful. So limitations in on our road for that. I'm not promoting pornography, but I'm saying it's a really requirement in our IVF center and such type of the where is requirement. Also is a way of web sex where we can easily prevent the sexual transmitted infections in the go to prostitution. That's it.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Siddiqui. Yeah, this is a very practical point because sometimes what happens on the day of the egg pickup or on the day of the IUI, once we tell the husband that you have to give the semen, this is a very, so in our center, so of course we are having a one separate room where we are having a bed where they can go along with the wife and along with this the TV display for this kind of movies. Now, even though I face some problems with some of the patients, now in such case of patient now, what are we doing? We are taking the semen 2-3 days prior of the expected date, and we are freezing and using that.
Semen freezing. Ma'am. You're right for that.
Now, my next question: as these days we have seen, lot of youngsters are addicted to this smoking and alcohol, and coming to us with this problem of the sexual dysfunction. So please enlighten us about this smoking and alcohol, how it affects this male sexual dysfunction.
Ma'am, it's a very good question to you. And there is a caution on the cigarette box. Caution. Is injurious for health. It's recommended for that. Is it injurious? So it's a clear that cigarette smoking and alcohol, these are harmful for the sexual life. It's very simple way of that. By smoking, there is oxidation hampered, lungs alveoli damage, and there is a depletion of the nitric oxide, which is responsible for the erection of the penis. If anybody is taking more addictive about smoking, so nitric oxide decreases and erections may hampered, and MSD also created by such type of problems. Such type of alcoholism, limitations of alcohol is sometime aphrodisiac, as Professor Domani is saying about some wine which is made from the red berry and blackberry. So it's as a act as aphrodisiac, but high amount of the alcohol is also hepatotoxic, also harmful for the sexual life because of the CNS depression after the alcohol use. So it's harmful for the sexual health life. If you wanna be have a jam, so aankhon se pijiye janab. It's my quotation to youngsters. Don't be more addict about the smoking and alcohol. It's really ruin the sexual life, also physical life. We have seen many of the liver cirrhosis patient of the young guys. We have seen many of the cases suffering from the liver cirrhosis, the requirement for the liver transplant, for the economical issues they can't do for that, and they die. So it's very harmful. We should ban it we should promote as a ban for that, and we should prevent for these issues and all that.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Siddiqui. See, as we are living in the metro city, some of the patients are coming. Ma'am, you are saying not to take alcohol, not to do smoking, as it is causing the sexual dysfunction. But some are saying we are taking the red wine. Ma'am, red wine is having a lot of benefits. So what's your opinion? I'm asking you the questions which are very practical. The Google-savvy patients these days we are getting. So they come to us after doing all Google search.
Ma'am, we have seen many of the red wine, where is a very limited dose of the red wine is a 25 ml to 50 ml for that, which act as a aphrodisiac. Aphrodisiac is mean enhance of the sexual stamina, enhance of the pleasure, and enhance of sexual satisfaction, and also depletion of the anxiety. So some degree of alcohol and red wine is may be beneficial, but if the patient is taking, it may be addict, it may be enhance the amount of the alcohol, which is also created the harm, and addiction is also there. So we don't be just promote the alcohol as a aphrodisiac. We have many option, is good option are aphrodisiac, so we go for the another aphrodisiac, not only red wine, because it's only a status symbol. If we say for that is smoking and wine, these are the only status symbol, and young guys are very addictive about to show the status symbol like that. सच गाली भी saying about that, मैं पीता हूं ताकि जल जाए जवानी मेरी, वल्लाह किसी शौक के मारे नहीं पीता.
Wow,
It's
wow.
mean some sexual
Yeah.
debilities are also creating for this such as both things. So prevent these things to enhance the sexual life and be a good healthy life. So prevent of these both things.
Yeah, thank you so much. Achha, meanwhile, can you please guide us regarding this aphrodisiac diet? These days, so many couples are coming कि ma'am हमको ऐसा prescription दो for this aphrodisiac diet. So please guide us about that.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Aphrodisias. What we know about the Aphrodisias? The mean of Aphrodisiae is a Greek word which mean of goddess of love. It's mean Aphrodisias, that's drug or substance which increases the sexual stamina, sexual pleasure, sexual frequency, and help for the sexual stimulation are called the Aphrodisias, as we know that. So these are many aphrodisias in our daily scheduled diets. We have recommended, we can say, red fruits and red vegetables are very good aphrodisias. As you say, in tomato there is a lycopene which is very good for our sexual life also. So we are recommending many aphrodisias which is very natural. As we know that as a fenugreek is a very good aphrodisias because of in fenugreek there is the saponins which binds the SHBG and increase the free testosterone and increase the libido in male and female also. So we easily recommend fenugreek. You can say the methi. So it's very good for as a aphrodisias. As a dark chocolate is also very good aphrodisiac because in dark chocolate there is a ethyl periamine which is very good for enhancing the libido. So dark chocolate is also very good. Red berries are also there. So many are dietic aphrodisiacs which is very good for enhancing the libido. And sometimes we have recommended euhambine bark extract also are there, which is botanical aphrodisiacs are there. One very good, very interesting point to ma'am, what is the best aphrodisiac for a newly couple? What's the best aphrodisiac? So my answer is the praise of female to male is the best aphrodisiac for male. If the female is praising her male, you are macho man, you are a very good situation of the sex, and praise about the sexuality of the male, so is also a boon of the male sexual life. It's very practical way of we are dealing the patient are also there. Hello, are you audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible. Yeah. Thank
Hello.
you so. Yes, Dr. Siddiqui. Thank you very much. I think your net connection is little poor. I think. Achha, meanwhile, till the Dr. Siddiqui is joining, as we are, Weber, can you please check? Weber or Harish, can you please check for the Dr. Siddiqui? As Dr. Siddiqui has mentioned regarding this aphrodisiac diet, so colorful red diet. So these days, watermelon is also considered to be a very good source, as I think it is containing a lot of citrulline. That is also considered to be a very good aphrodisiac food. Am I correct, Dr. Siddiqui?
So yeah.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Watermelon, you can say, is a natural Viagra. We have seen many of the literature where the watermelon diets and watermelon juices are there, watermelon juices therapies are there, which is also called as a natural Viagra. It's enhancing the libido due to citrulline. It's very good for that. In summer season, we easily use that and increase the aphrodisiac diet and increase the libido also. It's very good for that. Really, you are telling right, ma'am.
Yeah,
ma'am.
So there is one live question. This is by Dr. Pranav Chajed. He is asking, what should we consider the normal frequency of masturbation for a couple not staying together?
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Shall I repeat question? I repeat the question. This question is by Dr. Pranav Chajed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Dr. Pranav Chajed is asking, what should be the considered as a normal frequency of masturbation for a couple not staying together?
Ma'am, the frequency of the masturbation is depend on the mood of the client. If the client is having a once weekly or twice weekly or once monthly, so he can enjoy, and it's very simple and very normal. And if we just counsel the patient that excessive of masturbation is harmful, excessive of masturbation can ruin your sexual life, excessive masturbation can create your impotency. So such type of the rumors which is created by the quacks and created by the senior, so that's a problem. It's a social taboo. If a guy is having masturbations once a week or month twice a month, so it's a natural and normal, and he can easily enjoy the self satisfaction and prevent from the sexual transmitted infections for the young guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Now, these days, some couples are asking us about this anal X frequency. So, you please guide us about this anal sex. How to guide the patients, whether it is safe or not safe. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, the scenario of the anal sex and in Kama Sutra, anal sex is also called a Gudamathon. It's natural. But in my views and my practical, the youngsters are capturing the Western culture. They are seeing the porn. In you can say in Western culture, they don't to prevent the unwanted pregnancy. They have just use the master anal sex technique. So it's a normal and natural. But if a couple is monogamous, so it's a natural. If a guy is a polygamous, so it's a cause many of the sexual transmitted infections and rupture of the rectal membrane, and many sexual transmitted infections are created by the anal sex. So it's not a safe method. If anybody have a such type of the mentality to have enjoy the anal sex, so just use a condom. It's a very simple way of to prevent the infection, as we know that. But in India is not so acceptable by the female, because sometimes is a painful for the female. Love is a pleasure, not create the pain. So think about that. If both partner are agree about this act, so it's enjoyable, otherwise it's painful for that.
Yeah. So now my next question, see, regarding the circumcision. So what do you think, what's your opinion, is the circumcision is necessary for the good sex for each and every male, for healthy sex life? It is necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, sometime we have seen many of prepucitis infection where the prepuce is present. You can say the glans cover, glans skin is the present. Some Tyson's gland on the glans, so they secrete the smegma, and smegma is very foul smelling. So it's hamper the sexual issues are also there. But it is not a compulsion of have a circumcision. So if any guys have some degree of the pain, some tearing of the prepuce, some paraphimosis and phimosis, so requirement of the circumcision. Otherwise, if the coitus is not painful and there is no problem, so one suggestion is there. Every guys have to wash the smegma while bathing or while urinating, and it's very requirement to prevent the infections as UTI.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Dr. Siddiqui, other question, these days so many couples are approaching with the male partner, either female is saying or either the male partner is coming regarding this penis size. What do you think? What's your opinion? Is the penis size matters for the better sex and sexual satisfaction?
Ma'am, as you know, we know that there is a scenario of competition.
Yeah.
If another body have BMW, we have Maruti 800, so we are just inferiority complex. And youngsters are watching the porn where there is many race difference. If you say for the Negroes man, they have a long size penis. In Indian scenario, in China, in Nepal, Nepalese men, they have such type of the shortening of the penis. So, but the size is so natural. The requirement size is 2.5 inches is very sufficient for the healthy sex, for the good sex. So size doesn't matter. Sometimes we have seen many of the patients who are suffering from the metabolic syndrome, obesity, and diabetes mellitus. We have seen many of the buried penis, where is the very shorten of the penis 1 centimeter, below 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter is buried by the fat tissue. So there is a problem. if a guy have a 2.5 inches of penis, it's really good for the sexual pleasure of the both partner, because the female orgasm by the clitoral stimulation and by the size of 2.5 inches is sufficient for that. So no requirement of the huge penis. Some penis, you can say, penis enlargement treatment are surgically, but it is not so appropriate. I have seen many of the surgeries, some lipodepositions on the penis for the girth, but that's not so practically and not so acceptable by the male, because of the safe and curvature may hamper for that. So the size, if the size is 2.5 inches, is sufficient for the both of the partner. So just focus on the quality of the sex, for the focus on the self focus, for the focus about the foreplay, and it may be you can easily anybody can easily make her partner to orgasm, and it may be satisfactory sex. So penis size doesn't matter. Some of the hypogonadism cases we have seen, there is a micro penis. We have seen many of the cases. Then there is a problem where there is a 1 inches of the penis, and some degree of the curvature are also issues are there. So that's a problem. And it's a very simple issue. If the patient is suffering from the metabolic syndrome, so metformin, 1 gram of metformin can easily manage this situation, and depletion of the pubic fats, and penis grows outside as a normal size. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Siddiqui. Now, my next question regarding this, as we always say, that sex has no expiry date. So, can you enlighten us about this male andropause?
Hello. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Ma'am, as we know that as a female after age of 45 years, they just faces menopauses. As same of the male of age of 45 to 50 years, the function of the testis decreases, and depletions of the secretions of the testosterone by the Leydig cell. So sometimes testosterone secretions may hamper and decrease the testosterone, and we call the male andropause. But in not all the male, it depends on the male lifestyle. If the male is so active, and he just done exercise well, and he have a very active lifestyle, he doesn't take such type of alcohol, so he can easily manage this andropause condition. And in every male is not so much compulsion, that's why you have to face the andropause. If some of the male, if the serum testosterone level is decreasing below 3 or 2.5 nanogram per ml, then we say the such type of andropause situation are there, and we can easily by hormone replacement therapy. We can easily manage by the hormone replacement therapy. We should also see the patient complaints. If the patient is suffering from the lack of libido, lack of morning or erections are there, so we can easily match with that, say suffering from the male andropause. So sex has no expiry date. We only male, we think for that the sex is only penetrative sex, but is not a fact. Sex mean you have to touch, you have to foreplay, you have to sensate focus, you have many good relation self satisfaction techniques also are there. So only penetrative sex is not sex. So silsila ye chahat ka na humne bujhne diya. So it's mean always keep the desire on, keep the flame burning, or sex has no expiry date, and enjoy the whole life. Sex is just depend on your emotions. Interact with your partner, hug your partner, kiss your partner, touch your partner, talk your partner, and give the time your partner. It's really the key of the healthy sex life.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for a very practical point. Now, one very important point. As the age increases, some of the patients are hypertensive, some are suffering from some cardiac diseases. So, what do you suggest for them? Is it PDE5 inhibitors for them are okay, or the patients who are on nitrates or on the cardiac disease? So, what your advice for that patients? As we are having a short of time, that's why I'm merging the 2-3 questions together. Yeah.
No issue, ma'am. No issue. Ma'am, we have seen if the patient is suffering from any cardiac disease and he easily climb the 20 stairs at one time and he don't feel dyspnea, he can enjoy the sex life. There is no problem. If the patient is taking any antihypertensive drugs, some diuretics and some beta blockers are creating the MSD, male sexual dysfunction. So change the type of the drug as advised by the cardiologist. And it's very simple for that. We just go for the ACE inhibitor. Is very safe. And many of in beta blocker, if we have to use the beta blocker, go for the nebivolol. Is also selective beta blocker and safe and don't create the sexual side effect. And if the patient is taking the nitrates and he wanna enjoy, because PD5 inhibitor is contraindication while taking the nitrates. So if that patient wanna enjoy the sex life, so he can stop the nitrates before 24 to 48 hours and take the PD5 inhibitor and have a sex and enjoy the satisfaction. And second day he just repeat the you can say the nitrates. So the gaps of one day nitrate, there is no any harm for that in it, as recommended by the cardiologist.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Dr. Siddiqui, there is one question we have got on the live session. That is by Dr. Dharmendra Kendre. He is asking, any comments on premature ejaculation if patient does not want medicines? How to treat and how to counsel the patient?
If the patient don't want any medication, please repeat the question, ma'am.
Yeah.
Please repeat the question.
Yes. He's asking, Dr. Dharmendra is asking, any comments on premature ejaculation if patient do not want to take any medicines?
Yeah, it's a very good. Sometime if the patient is suffering from the premature ejaculation, it depends if the ILT time is less than 1 minute. So we just make a diagnosis about the premature ejaculation. But if the patient is not agree to take any SSRIs and don't take any medication about the premature ejaculation, so there is many technique. There is just as a prescribed by the Master and Johnson Texas are there, where there is a start method, and some squeeze technique are there, which is really works. But you also Kegel exercise is very good exercise. We in yoga is called just like the Ashwini Mudra, and Kegel exercise is very good for you can say for the strengthening of the pelvic floor muscles and the hold of the ejaculation. So if the patient doesn't want to take any drug, so he go for the sex therapy as a start technique and squeeze technique of the glands. It's really work.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr.
Otherwise, you go for the dapagliflozin. Yeah.
Otherwise, they can go for dapagliflozin also. Yes. Now, there is one query by the anonymous doctor regarding this Suhagard syndrome. SUHAGRAT.
Yeah.
Suhagard syndrome. He's asking what is that, and please explain us about that.
Hello, audible, ma'am?
Yes,
please repeat the question. Is not audible.
Yeah. Regarding this Suhagard syndrome, SUHAGRAT.
Yeah.
There is one query. Yeah.
Ma'am, it's a very good question. What does mean of the Suhagard syndrome? Something only happen in India. बहुत सारी चीजें हमारे इंडिया में होती हैं. As you can say, Das syndrome, you can say the only seminal fluid secretion. So due to Western toilet use, clients see the such type of the precum secretion and suffer the psychological illness. Just like a Suhagard syndrome, it's a taboo. If the male guys just were getting married and he think about he can't perform at a time of first night attempt, so he feels more stress due to lack of education, due to lack of awareness about that. Sometimes it is just so much stress by the friend circle where there is a hyperbola about the sex, first night sex, about the some guilt are there. We can say it's very simple. Suhagard syndrome, patients are worried to make a first night. How they suffer, how does they feel first night, and many taboos are also there. So only the treatment is only marriage counseling and sex therapy and sex counseling is so much requirement in this case. In our India, there is a lack of sex education. Due to this, that psychosexual problem created by the guys. So it's a very easily and manageable. Suhag syndrome is very simple. We have seen many of the cases, and by the counseling therapy, he can easily manage, and it's cured for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Now, doctor, as you are using lot of phrases, so I also remember one phrase. Sometimes a patient comes of 80 years of age, 75, 80 years of age, male patient comes, and he wants to do regularly sex. As you are also mentioning so many phrases, ki dil to bachcha hai ji. So, but if he's 75, 80 years, so what are the medications we can advise to them for a healthy sexual life?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, if the male patient has an age of 80 years and he is suffering from any, not suffering from any cardiac disease, we go for easily use of PD5 inhibitor. And also with the sex therapy, we also counsel the patient that penetrative sex is not only sex. They can easily link up with the partner. They can enjoy with the touch therapy, sensate focus, touch the genitalia. Sex therapies are also there. Kissing, hugging are also there. So if they have very good communication with the couple, they can easily enjoy the sex life. We will also counsel them that only penetrative sex is not a sex. They can enjoy, they can get the pleasure by touch therapy, by kissing and all of that. If the male have just some degree of erection loss, so go for a PD5 inhibitor, short time PD5 inhibitor, just like sildenafil. It's very safe drugs. And if the contraindication is not there, so we can easily give for that. सिलसिला ये चाहत का हमने ना बुझने दिया. So carry on. There is no any harm. It's a very good, we can say it's a very good for just prevention of the depression at the age of geriatric age group, and prevention of the cardiovascular disease also, and better the endothelial dysfunction. So just maintain the love forever. Sex has no expiry date. Enjoy whole life. There is no age bound. Love is not age bound.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siddiqui. Dr. Siddiqui, there is one question by Dr. A. Chakravarti. Dr. Chakravarti is asking which health conditions the sexual activity should be restricted. In which health conditions the sexual activity should be restricted?
Ma'am, if the patient is suffering from any severe infections, just like STI, which is more spreading, we have seen many of the cases where there is a Hep B and Hep C patient are also there. Some HIV patient are there, as we know that where the chances of the STI. So there is a hampering of the sexual intimacy, and if some sexual intimacy is also prevent in such type of the pregnancy where the complications are there. Otherwise, we can say in all age group we can easily enjoy. And in rheumatology, we have seen many of the patients who are suffering from the severe pain, and after sex, the release of the oxytocin reduces the pain. So sex is a very good painkiller also. Sex is the stress reliever also, and sex is the cardiotonic also. If the patient is suffering from the very high degree of the hypotension and CHD, cardiac failure also there, LVH, and such type of the dyspneic condition are there, there is a requirement of hampering the sex. Otherwise, he can easily enjoy the sex. There is no issue, as enjoy as a painkiller, as enjoy as the immunity booster, and sex is so good for the male sexual health.
Yeah. So thank you once again, Dr. Siddiqui, for such very practical answers. So with this, I want to wind up our session. Already we have exceeded the time. And thank you so much again for sharing your knowledge with us. So Dr. Siddiqui, from my side, this Cadbury Bonewell for you. As we always know, you answered so excellently. As we always know, that Bonewell you can't purchase. Bonewell you have to earn it. So you have earned it. Harish, please courier the chocolates to Dr. Siddiqui.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. It's really pleasant, nice to meet you. I also get my senior teacher as you are, and you are my ideality of the education, and you are so ideal for me, and also that's way.
No, thank
So,
you.
as you are IVF specialist, we are also creating the awareness. महिला ही वंश क्यों? सिर्फ महिला ही वंश क्यों? I am also creating in the society. सिर्फ महिला ही वंश क्यों? अगर patient एजोस्पर्मिक है. So why only female are blaming our society? So we and my wife also creating the more awareness about IVF and about test tube baby, and we are just getting many good responses, and to prevent the many marriage breakdown by providing the IVF technique and providing the issue by the IVF. Thank you being a IVF specialist. Thank you, ma'am.
Right. Thank you. Convey my hello in regards to Ruby. Yeah. And there is one question from online. Harish, give me permission for 2-3 minutes. There are some questions we are getting, huh? So there is one question.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. There is one question on the Facebook we have got. If any patient is taking tadalafil and dapagliflozin, and after the intercourse, if penis is not coming in normal position or painful, then what should be done? This is by Dr. Rajendra Dubey.
Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. If we have to diagnose the patient. Patient is either suffering from premature ejaculation or suffering from the erectile dysfunction. Sometimes both conditions, both problem is simultaneously. So we get the combination of tadalafil and dapagliflozin. If the patient is suffering from only premature ejaculation, no need of give the high dose of the tadalafil. We should reduce the dose of tadalafil or only prescribe the dapagliflozin. If the patient taking the tadalafil and dapagliflozin and erection is not losing after ejaculation, it means it's a priapism, and the priapism should be managed by drainage of the blood and is the surgical process. So don't be give the unnecessary tadalafil if the patient is suffering from premature ejaculation. If the erection is not
I think Dr. Siddiqui's connection is gone. So I think we can wind up here, Harish. But your voice is also not audible, Harish. No, I'm not able to hear you. So friends, before we wind up, please block your date and time for the next Saturday at 9:30 p.m. on 4th July. We will be catching you again on the Pundit at Dr. Ritu show. We are having this time a celeb, a famous tarot reader, Sonal Jain with us. So please block your date and time for the next Saturday, 4th July. Yes, Harish, you can wind up. No, I don't think. Your voice is not coming. Can I end the session? So thank you, Innovacare. Thank you, Deepenji. Thank you, Sankalp, and thank you, Harish.
Yes.
So
Thank you, ma'am.
yeah. So friends, we are winding up the session. Thank you once again, Dr. Siddiqui. So good night to all of you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.